Hi, guys.
Hey. Marley, so classic that you were the first person on.
I wanted to be on time.
Hi, Frady.
Hi, Frady.
Hey, Gav. What are there only? Oh, haha. Hi, Suzanne. BH, this is gonna get real awkward when people
hi, I
pop
didn't
on.
realize.
I know. Wait, guys, who's recording?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's really ominous.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't press record.
It's our FBI agents.
Yeah, it always happens. It always records.
Yeah?
Hey, Odaya. How are you
It
doing?
happened to me before.
Hey, Rachel.
Hello.
Ah, this is so cool. Friends.
How is everyone tonight?
Baruch Hashem, how are you?
Baruch Hashem. Shari, get out of here.
Hey. Hello, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Hello,
Wow,
Rebbe
Vincent.
Roses.
Bye.
Everyone's in such a good mood. So nice to see. Hold on
98
one second.
skies.
1 second. Okay, 1 second. Is that okay? That's maybe okay. All right, 1 more second. How's everybody doing?
Baruch Hashem, good.
Baruch Hashem, how are you?
Okay, good. Okay, 1 second. Where is this? Okay.
I was rewatching the video where David had his Achnosis Tefillin, and I realized that I didn't say Mazel. I actually said Mazel Tov out loud, but I realized it was a recording afterwards. But now I'm going to say Mazel Tov to somebody who actually can register it. Mazel Tov.
Thank you very much. Hold on 1 second. I was trying to get it started on the computer so I could see people. How come it doesn't have 1 second. Oh boy. All right. I'm not sure why it's not. All right. This says can you hear me still? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
crystal clear.
Okay. I'm not sure why it's not. I just need this numbers.
Did Rabbi leave?
I think he might have. He was having problems with his mic.
Okay, everyone. Welcome to my TED Talk. Today we're going to be talking about math.
Math? Odaya, what math are you learning?
So I'm currently learning geometry.
Oh, I'm really good at
About
that.
triangles. So everyone, triangles have 3 sides, right?
What are the types of triangles?
No. We came here for Torah. Also, I hope everyone's sharing the TD Thrive Drive and spreading out the word.
My status is 100% spammed with it, so.
Oh, yeah. Good. Because that's what you're going to be seeing till Tisha B'Av.
That's when the drive is, till Tisha
B'Av? It's going to be running officially for 2 days, on Monday and Tuesday. But it did start now.
Oh, but we're just at early school.
Yeah. We're doing great. Gonna be huge.
Where are you guys going? Why are you in a car?
Oh, we went out to eat.
Oh, fancy schmancy.
Oh yeah.
Not COVID behavior, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. They didn't let us into the restaurant to wash, but I had to wash. So the waiter was like, "Put a napkin on your face." I'm like, "Okay, I'll do that."
That is hilarious, actually.
Anything to eat that bread, you know. Get that dough. You know, it was great. It was great. Where'd he go?
He's gone. Ooh,
Oh.
Brock is here. How's she doing? Hi, friends.
I'm good. Hi, Fredo.
Adina, help it. Oh, my baby's crying.
Where's Bracha Barak? I don't see her.
She's all the way in the back with her camera off, like we won't
All the
see
way
her.
in the back. Bracha Barak, sit up, please. I want to see you.
Hi.
Tina,
Oh, there you
tickle.
are.
Gav,
There
you're
you
not
are.
Bracha Barak.
No, he was waving, so I was replying hi to Bracha.
Oh.
Bracha, it's okay.
Ooh, Adina.
Okay, I think Rabbi Rosenthal's back on.
Rabbi Rosenstein is back on. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having like connection problems. And then-
Okay, well, we'll pause our girly talk for now, okay? Later.
I'm gonna stop a Zoom meeting.
okay.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know.
here it is.
Ah, Rabbi Chaos ensued in your absence.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Oh, it's on a. Is this 1 second? Okay, now I can do this. Got it. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing okay. I'm gonna open this up here so I can see also. Okay, just a quick scheduling point. Next week is going to be Motzei Tisha B'Av, Thursday night. So we're not going to do the shir next week. Okay, so we're going to take this will be the 4th week, I think, in a row, which is good already. That means that we got it going already for real. So we'll do it this week, but then next week, not. But then the following week, yes, Mirza Hashem. So that's the plan. And also, I wanted to just, I'm going to be sending it out for Tisha B'Av, but I would really like to do that thing that I put out, that I'd like to watch the pianist on Tisha B'Av, like together over Zoom, and pausing it along the way, and drawing certain lessons from history and Musar and Hashkafa and things like that. So it'll be probably in the evening over here towards the end of the fast, when it'll be in the middle of the day for you. So I'll send that out to everybody. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so last time we saw that the point of everything was man, right? That man is the pinnacle of creation. Man is the the one creation that all of this was for, and that the man is put together. We saw by the guf and the neshama, and that's the same. That the guf is the presents the challenges of the Yetzer Hara now when we're in Olam Hazeh, and then in Olam Haba it's going to be the opposite. Just like now the guf is sort of in control and the neshama is subject to the guf, so then it's going to be the opposite. There's still going to be something like a guf, but it's going to be completely subjugated to the neshama. And then he went on, and that's where we're in the middle of now, to start talking about Adam Harishon, and to say that the way that we see man today, with the guf and the neshama, the way that we experience man today, so that's not the way that it was, and it's not the way that it was meant to be. It's Adam Harishon, at the beginning it was different, and it was like on a much higher level. And after the Chet of Adam Harishon, so everything dropped. Okay, so let's go to see Zion. So tzarich sheteda she'af al pi she'enanu margishim l'neshama guf pu'ul acheres zula sachius v'haskala hine be'emes yesh b'chuka shetizakech etzem haguf v'chamro. So now he's saying a very, very important point that we need to understand, that the guf and the neshama, or let's put it this way, the neshama to the guf does more than just inject life into it, right? That's what he's saying at first. In other words, the only thing that we experience from our neshama is that it keeps us alive. That's what our life force is, right? That's what we understand. This is the thing that science is never going to come to some sort of a understanding of, because it's not physical, it's spiritual, right? The thing that powers our life is our neshama, right? And that's what gives us our, right? He's saying the only two things that we feel or we can experience our neshama is our life and our haskala, right? The fact that we do have spiritual feelings, the fact that we do have a experience of spirituality, so that's something an animal does not have. That's something that's an aspect of our neshama. So in that respect, we experience our neshama. However, what he's telling us now is that our neshama does more than we know. הנה באמס יש בכוחה שתזכך בעצם הגוף החומרו וסעלהו עילוי אחר עילוי עד שירוי לסעלוס עם הבנוסו בשלמוס. So what we don't feel is happening along the way, but it's happening, is that our neshama is working on our guf. He's introducing now this topic of zikuch haguf, which is going to be a major theme going on in this parak. That zikuch means like purifying, clarifying, cleansing. So the neshama has the power to be mizakech the guf. The neshama residing within my guf, when I do good things, so the neshama, chips away at the physicality of my guf. But this is not something that we experience over here, as he's going to explain. If this hisalos, this tremendous elevation, is what Adam would have reached if not for the fact that he sinned. Right? The Adam Rishon was exactly the same dynamic. He was a guf, and he had a neshama infused into that guf, and with that neshama, he could have done good, right? He could have chosen to do good. That would have given his neshama the opportunity to completely cleanse and fix his guf, and then he would have been purified, right? And he would have then lived forever with Hashem. Okay, ches. We're in just, I'm sorry, Chelek Aleph Perek Gimel, Seif Ches. Second. Okay. The Kevan Shechata Nishtanu Advarim Shinui Gadol, right? But after Adam Rishon sin, things changed tremendously. We didn't see this yet, right? We're not doing this a second time, right? This is the first time we're seeing this, correct? Okay, good, fine. The Kevan Shechata Nishtanu Advarim Shinui Gadol. V'hu Ki Hine Betchila Hayu Babria Hechesronos. Right, in the beginning, the world was created with chisaron, like he explained this earlier, that even Adam Arishon, even in Gan Eden, it wasn't perfect. There was a lack, right? But these chisranos, shahayu b'shir ma shahayu mitzarich l'shia Adam Arishon b'matzav hashikol shel chacharnu. But the amount of chisaron that existed in the world was just enough so that Adam Arishon could be put into this balance. He could be put into this place. And everything would have worked out that Adam Arishon could have achieved shleimus by his work, by his hard work, by his effort, and he had that opportunity. However, through the chet of Adam Arishon, so now not only was the world that level of imperfection that it started with, that Adam didn't fix, but nosfu v'nisrabu chesronos ba'atzmo shel Adam uva bria kula. However, as a result of the chet of Adam Arishon, there was a massive yerida, and what does a yerida mean? A hiding of the shleimus that was there, even the almost shleimus that was there, right? In other words, like Adam Arishon was put into a world that was only 1% chaser, let's say. I'm just using a number, right? 1% chaser, and that was it wasn't perfect. There was a place for nisayon, there was a place for ra, a place for a lack of shleimus, a place to not see Hashem, right? And Adam Arishon, just like we have that in our lives all day, every day, experiences of ra, experiences of a lack of seeing Hashem. Adam Arishon could have persevered and passed through that, and then that would have been it. That with that one act, his neshama would have purified his guf. He would have earned his place in Olam, Haba forever, and that would have been it. However, once Adam Arishon did the Chet, so now in addition to that 1% that was lacking from before, but now everything dropped. I don't know, another 80% or something, a massive amount. And this affected Adam himself, right? Mankind is no longer on the level that we were by Adam Arishon. Uva Bria Kula, and the entire Bria, the entire creation was affected by this. Okay, so this is the point number one of what he's introducing today, that the Chet of Adam Arishon caused a tremendous yerida in the world, and that yerida means that the relative balance between physical and spiritual, shifted way more in the physical direction. And now the tikkun is even harder than it was before. Adam Rishon had a challenge. He had an asayon. It was difficult. However, now it's become that much more difficult. Right? Originally, it was easier, so to speak, for Adam Rishon to get himself out of this chisaron that he was in and to acquire shleimus. Because Adam Arishon was living in the world version 1.0. Version 1.0 was, there was only a necessity for a tiny bit of chisaron, just that 1%, just that little bit of chisaron that Hashem had set up in order to give Adam Arishon a chance to win. Right? In other words, because the chisaron that Adam started with is very different than the chisaron that we have now. The chisaron that we have now is the result of hundreds of years of averos, of adding chisaron to chisaron. That's a completely different type of lack than the lack that Adam Arishon started with. Adam Arishon started with the part that was just set up for him to finish. Right, but then he ended up undoing what got him to that place, so to speak. So now we are far back from being able to leave the chisaron. Omnam b'cheto kevan she'al yado nister hashleimus yoser mishayav v'nisrabu chasronos v'ayahu agorim rala atzmo hine lo yiyah od kol kach kal lo lashuv latzeis min chasron v'liknos hashleimus k'mos shaya beis shelo hayahu garmat chasrono el shekach notzim meikro k'mos shegazavnu. Right? It's just saying this idea that the original chisaron. Put a picture like this. Right? Let's say you want to give a baby, a small child, you're teaching him playing games for the first time. So you're teaching them shoots and ladders, but that they're not going to have they're not going to have the patience to play a whole game of shoots and ladders. So, or whatever it is. So you start the person right before the end of the game, right? So that's how I set the person up. And now all they need to do is to finish the game, but it's all there for them. It's all set up. It's still a challenge to finish, but it's all there. But then along comes the kid and he flips the board upside down and flips all the pieces everywhere and everything, right? So now, we still need to finish the game. The kid, we still need to get back to teach the kid how do you play this game. But now, in order to finish the game, we first have to get the board down. We have to put all the pieces, on the board, and now we've got to play the whole game back to the point where the parent set it up for us, right? Because that's okay. Enough at the mushal. I think we got it. Fine. That's what he's saying.
That's a great mushal.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I just thought of it now. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Shoots and ladders is not so good though. I'll tell you why. Because shoots and ladders, you yourself can make one wrong move and then fall down a chute and end up at the bottom. So I don't know what Candyland. That's the good one. Okay, I'll remember for next time. Candyland. There's no going back in Candyland, right? It's only going forward. See, that's what they teach you as kids in life. So, okay. The kolshigain shebehefrech ishtadlusa u'mitzarich ata mahagia l'shleimus hinehu kafel. Right. So now our job is doubled. Ki yitzarich tchila sheyashuvu ha'adam ba'olam ha'matzav shehu b'rishon ha'kodem ha'chet. Right. First, we've got to put the board back together and put the pieces on the board. Right. Get things back to the way they were before. And then at that point, we're going to have the opportunity to fix the Chet of Adam Arishon, and we're going to go all the way. Okay. So I just as a side point here, because it's a question that some people have had, myself at least, I'm assuming others. So that's why I said some people, not just me. But it sounds like, wait a second, that we could end up going back to the state of Adam Arishon and then messing up again, right? The way he just said it, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like, right, that it's like it used to be a one-step process, and now we've made it into a two-step process, but it sounds like there's still two steps. And so, but the truth is we're going to see later, is that it's not going to happen that way. It won't be that way. It will not be that we're going to get back to the state of Adam Rishon and then make the same mistake of the Eitz Hadas again. The tikkun and the shleimus that's going to happen is going to happen only in one direction. Even though it sounds like, okay, fine. Okay, now we're going to get into much more, not sort of practically understanding what effect all of this has on us, in terms of the connection of the neshama and the guf, and what is being alive and what is being dead, and what is the purpose of being dead, and all of that. So we're going to see this right now. Test. V'ulam milvad kol zeh gozra midas dina yisbarach. Right now, in addition to this, we learned about one major change that happened as a result of the Chet of Adam Arishon. Change number one was that the world became much, much, much more physical. Right, that the balance between the spiritual and the physical shifted very, very far in the physical direction. But there's another aspect of the change that the Psukim tell us in Bereshis when Adam Arishon did the Chet, right, and that's the idea of death. Right, that the Hashem said that a person is going to die. I don't know the lashon of the psukim. I don't remember exactly what the words are, but that a person bishagam shu basar, that a person is made of flesh and they're only going to live 120 years. So the concept of death was introduced after the Chet of Adam Arishon, meaning Adam Arishon lived as a person that was not destined to die. He could have just lived and passed over into the tikkun without needing to die. However, as a result of the Chet of Adam Arishon, al pi Kabbalah, the idea is that there was a certain physicality that was like injected into us from the Nachash, the Nachash Akadmoni, that force of evil. So it injected a certain zuhama, a certain filth, a certain spiritual, maybe it's not spiritual, maybe it's like physical, a certain element to us that can't go away except through the process of death. Right? That's what happened. However, Hashem added to this that the world and each individual person can never achieve shleimus, can never reach their state of perfection while they are still in this fallen form. Right? We are in this, fallen state of man, and in this state, again, you can understand it that there's we have some of the nachash mixed in with us, and that piece of the nachash can't get a tikkun with us, right? That's the ra, that's the bad of us. So we have to go through a process of actually physically, right, separating from that ra, and we'll see in a second that ra is what rots in the grave, and that's what lets us, even our physical body, get the ilui when Tchias HaMesim happens, which we're going to see now. Okay, right? We are in this fallen state right now. And we can't be in a state of shleimus from this state. Right? Everything dies. Everything has to break down and die, because everything in this world is injected with the nachash. Everything in this world has the mixed in bad physicality, right? In other words, there's an aspect of physicality that's not ra. Whatever that point of guf that we have that's going to live l'netzach netzachim, that's going to be with us forever. So that's an aspect of which we're going to learn a lot more later, that's an aspect of physicality that we don't call ra. That's not considered to be something negative. However, we've dropped way below that point, and we have much more ra that's mixed within us, and that cannot experience the nitzchias with Hashem, and the whole world is infected with this now. The whole world, every piece of physicality in the world is infected with this ra, and that's why everything dies, everything breaks down and dies eventually, because in order for the world to pass over to the stage of tikkun, everything in it has to lose the ra that's a part of it. And just like when a person dies and their body breaks down, that's the ra leaving it. So too the whole world is going to go to this. Right? Like he said earlier, the whole world was lowered as a result of the chet of Adam Harishon. The whole world now has this mixture of ra. So all of that is going to have to break down. And the neshama can't actually it does it in potential, but it can't actually be mezakech the guf. It can't actually purify the guf. Ela achar sheteitze mimenu tchila, v'yomus haguf v'yifased, v'oz yachzer v'yibana binyan chadash, v'sikanis bo neshama v'sikachehu. It has to go through this process of the guf and the neshama separating, the guf going through its own process of hefsid, its own process of breaking down and losing the ra that was mixed into it, and then v'az yachzer v'yibana binyan chadash. Then the neshama and the guf can rejoin v'tikanis bo neshama v'tzakechu. And then when the neshama comes in the second time, when we don't have all of this ra mixed in us, that's when the effect of the zikuch of the neshama on the guf is going to be realized. I'm going to say that again.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you're saying like Adam had a physical form before, right? And that didn't have the ra in it. Like he would have he would have gone through like a different kind of process.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to see. He's going to say soon that's like what happened to Eliyahu Hanavi and Pinchas. Like there are a few people like Moshe Rabbeinu when he went up to Shemayim. Like there were a few physical people who actually did this, right? Who were like so pure and so physical that they were on a personal level able to get their physical form to that state that they could go to a spiritual place. Moshe Rabbeinu did it only temporarily. Right? Moshe Rabbeinu himself died. Right? He died. His body went into the ground and this process happened to him, right? When he went to Shemayim to get the Torah, he was in this state, right? And so too, he's going to tell us, I think here, and in Das Tunos, he for sure speaks about this, but I think he's going to get to it here as well. And like Eliyahu Hanavi went through this state. He's like the only, and one other person else, I don't remember right now, and who went up to Shemayim, like he was able to purify himself to such a way that he passed over into the, with his physical body, whatever that means. It's very hard for us to even make sense of that. But that's but he's going to get to all of this. Okay, so I'll just say in one sentence that last idea, and then we'll go further. I'm saying that that the body, because of the hefsed that was injected with Adam Rishon, the physical body as well as the whole world can't be purified in its current state. As much as the neshama can do, it can't actually be mezakech the guf because of the ra that's there. However, once the neshama and the guf separate, and the guf has the opportunity to break down and let that ra physically separate from the guf, now when the neshama comes back to what's left of the guf, right, which is the good part of it, that now the neshama will be able to be mezakech that completely. And so to the whole world, right? Chazal tell us this idea. Chazal say the lashon of Shisa Alfei Shnin is 6 years. The Elef Hashvi, the Olam Charuv, the world is going to be destroyed. The Olam Chadash is going to be a new world afterwards. It's the same thing. The Olam Kula Yischarev. The world also is going to have to go through this type of a process of destruction, but that destruction is really a purification, a ridding the world of the Ra in order for it to be elevated. So there's going to be some sort of, I don't even know what's going to be, okay, but something that we are going to be able to be referring to as the world being destroyed. Okay, this is why every person goes through this process. We live, we die, and then we come back to life. I one time asked Rabbi Shmuel Irons, Rav of mine in Detroit, why we say every morning in El Kai Neshama, right? We say every day, you're going to take it from me, my neshama, meaning you're going to kill me one day, and then you're going to give it back to me, and I said, well, how come we say that every day? Doesn't that like show that we don't believe in Tchias HaMeisim, that it could happen any day? If I believe that tomorrow Mashiach can come and, Tchias HaMeisim and whatever is going to happen, so then, why am I saying every day, oh, I know I'm going to die? So he said, exactly what the Ramchal is saying now. I didn't understand what he meant exactly back then, but he said, but no, that's not true. Every person is going to die. Even if Mashiach comes and whatever that means with Tchias HaMeisim, even if that's going to happen today, now, we're going to die first, even if it's for a second, like at Ma'amad Har Sinai. We're going to die in order to give our guf and neshama the chance to separate, to go through the processes described in this perek, which we're going to see soon. It's not just the guf that changes, the neshama is affected by this process as well, but everybody is going to go through this process. Nobody escapes death, right? Every single person dies. It's not death in taxes, just death. Right? That's the whole concept of Tchias HaMeisim, this whole idea that people have a very hard time understanding what is this thing of dead people rising and walking like a zombie invasion or whatever. No, the idea is that it's a concept. I mean, it's a physical reality, but it's representation of this concept that the whole world is in this tainted state. And in order for it to truly be purified, and for every individual, there has to be this separation of guf and neshama, and then come back. Yeah, v'hu inyan. Oh, he says it right here. And that's the same thing about the world. It's not just a person who's going to live, die, and then come back, but the world also. V'hu inyan masha amru zichronam levracha. This is what Chazal said. This Gemara, he says Rosh Hashanah, Daf Lamed Hey 31, Lamed Aleph. I'm sorry. Yeah. Shisa alfei shana have alma. The world is going to exist for 6,000 years. B'chad charuv. Then for one, it's not clear. It's a 1 year, or 1,000 years, or whatever. But there's going to be destruction. V'lesof elef shana Hakadosh Baruch Hu chozer mechadesh es olamo. And then after 1,000 years, Hashem is going to renew His world. So again, what these words mean in terms of years and time, I don't know. How that. What it means actually, but that concept of the three stages. There's the stage of present, which is a mikukal stage. It's a broken stage. Then there's the stage of charuv, the stage of the separation, and that's the purification stage of each side separately. And then there's the rejoining, which is the chidush of the olam, and that's the tchias hameisim. Right? Those are the two things that happen together. Okay, so this is we're going to do hopefully one more sif yud, and then it's a good place to pause. If we'll see how much time it takes. Okay, bihine yud lefi shoresh zeh. According to this, now that we see this, zman hagmul ha'amiti. So when is the real reward going to be? Meaning the gemul ha'amiti we're going to see, because that there is other aspects of reward before the ultimate reward. But the ultimate reward, what he's talking about, is that reward that the whole point of the world is for, of the universe that he started with, right? That ultimate reward is the good that a person will have earned to be together with Hashem forever and ever, right? So that time, zman hagumul hamiti, dahainu zman kibul aschar shezacharnu lamala umekomo hu achar atchila ba'olam sheischadesh va'adam yena bo begufo uvenishmaso. Okay, it's a very, very yesodistic, a lot of stuff he just said in these couple of lines, right? But he's telling us over here, what is Olam Haba, right? What is Olam Haba going to be, or what the concept of Olam Haba is going to be? Of course, all of this is going to be discussed a lot more throughout the Sefer. It's just introducing over here this concept, the true Kibul Schar, the Gemul Ha'amiti, the real reward, which again, that's the point of the whole Sefer, which, like he said, that we built up the whole beginning of the Sefer to explain what that reward is all about and why it has to be earned. Umekomo, and the place, meaning the context in which this reward will happen, is only going to be after Tchias HaMeisim and after the world is renewed. And then okay, this is a very, very big point, and this is a big machlokas in other Rishonim, but the Ramchal understands that a part of our physical guf, whatever that means, but this guf, whatever part of it can live in the spiritual reality that's going to be, is going to be there. It's not just the neshama that's going to benefit. The guf has to benefit. The guf has to get its reward. This physical body, goes through difficulty in order to keep mitzvos. It suffers in order to stay away from averos, and it wouldn't be right for this body not to be rewarded. Now, it's very hard for us to understand what that means, because we and our bodies feel like we're very much connected and that we're one, and right, we don't sense ourselves as a duality and two different entities and all of that. You know what I mean? But there is something to that, whatever that means, and that's what he's saying, that biyos gufa mezukach al yedei nishmaso, that by the neshama coming back into the guf and purifying it, muchan al yado lios nene betuvahu, our guf is then going to be prepared and able to benefit from this spirituality. So again, it's impossible for us to really grasp what this means, but he's being as clear as he can that olam haba, whatever that ultimate existence is going to be, is as different as it is from now. Our experience of being will still be, you know what I mean? But there's still going to be an entity, like again, he's calling it a guf, still going to be an entity that I'm going to be me with, right? And that entity, whatever, again, it's going to be purified through this whole process of living and doing mitzvos and dying and breaking down, decomposing and recombining, right? And through that process, it can benefit from everything. However, in that place, at the ultimate tikkun, in that place, not everybody is going to be equal. Not everybody's going to be in the same place, right? There's going to be different madregos and different milos. However much a person put into, whatever effort a person put in while they were here in the place of avoda, and however much a person invested in achieving shleimus, that's the place that they're going to be forever and ever. And again, these are all things he's going to explain more. He has a whole lengthy description later, which is really exciting because he shows how hard it is really to not get into olam haba. And he says, in olam haba, there's many, many different levels, and there's levels of people who really don't even have their own zechus to be in olam haba, but they get in with the zechus of other people, things like that we're going to see, right? But there's levels. A person like that is not going to be on the same level as a person who's dedicated their life to avodas Hashem and worked hard and done all that. So, right, we're going to see that. The kafi hashir mashatarchu ba'olam ha'avoda, kafi mashishtadu lahasik min hashleimus. As much as a person worked, that's how much they're going to get. Ki kafi shir zet is daira neshama ba'atzma, because that's what's actually happening. By whatever we're actually doing over here is actually increasing the power of our neshama, and that's what's going to v'tayir baguf v'tizakechehu, and that power that we've infused into the neshama through our avoda, that's what's going to come back and purify the guf. V'yiknu shneihem yakaru ma'ila, and together they're going to achieve this greatness. And together they're going to be, fitting and able to bask together with Hashem, to join together with Hashem, and be together with that goodness forever and ever, with that, with that true good. Okay, so he just explained to us a very, very critical piece, the whole story arc of life on an individual level, right? A person is born, that's the neshama and the guf coming together. They have a whole lifetime, hopefully, whatever time they're given over here, they have a lifetime to try to build up the power of that neshama. And even though we don't see the power of the neshama really affecting the guf over here in Olam Hazeh, except in certain cases, but usually you don't see spirituality on a person. We don't see the effect. However, the effect is going to be realized later, after the guf and the neshama separate, and the neshama goes to where it's going to go. We'll learn next week what happens to in 2 weeks, what happens to the neshama when it leaves the guf. We know what happens to the guf because it's here. The guf breaks down, and that is the ra leaving the guf. And when they're going to be joined together again, to whatever degree that neshama was intensified and grown and nurtured by my avoda in the world, to that degree, it's going to come back and empower the guf, and together we're going to be lenetzach tetzachim with Hashem, and the world is going to go through the same process as well. The world is going to break down. The ra is going to be nisakel, like dissipate, and then it's going to be re-infused together, and we'll have the world together. Okay, wow, very, very big stuff. Okay, so now we know why we die, and Mr. Hashem, in 2 weeks. So I want to say a very quick thing on the parsha. Mamish, just like very, very quick. But this is such a powerful idea that Rabbi Fix and I actually heard together. I hope he's not going to like say this for his Torah this week, and I'm stealing it from him. But Rabbi Fix and I, 25 years ago, were here in Eretz Yisrael in the summertime, and we heard Rabbi Vignan Evansal speak on Parshas Devarim. And in the parsha, at the very, very beginning of the second Aliyah, we have this pasuk of where Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Echa esa levadi tarchachem umasachem v'rivchem." And if you were ever in shul, which probably you won't be this year, but if you're ever in shul on Shabbos, so they lane that pasuk in the Torah in the tune for Echa, right? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Echa esa levadi tarchachem umasachem v'rivchem, like that. And so that's not just like a coincidence. Because it happens to be that it's Parshas Dvarim, and there's a word that sounds like Eicha, and it's right before Tisha B'av every year. It's not just it's not like that. There's a very powerful connection between this Eicha, and he said there's another Eicha that Chazal make a connection to, and that's the Eicha, like we're just learning, of Adam HaRishon, right? Right after the Chet of Adam HaRishon, Hashem, right? Adam HaRishon like hides, and Hashem says Ayeka. Right? Aleph, Yud, Chaf, Hey, Ayeka. Where are you? Ayeka. And it's the same letters as Eicha, right? Eicha and Ayeka. So Ibn Evansal said, what's the connection between these three Eichas? There's the Eicha of Eicha Yashva Badad, of the destruction of Yerushalayim and our sadness. There's the Eicha of Moshe Rabbeinu saying, how can I handle all of your troubles and your arguments? And then there's the Ayeka, Eicha of Adam HaRishon. He said an amazing thing. Rav Evansal, so beautiful. He said that Chazal tell us lo nechrav bayisheni ela shadanu din Torah beinehem. That Chazal say that the Beis Hamikdash, the second bias, was destroyed because people kept on taking each other to Beis Din. Danu din Torah beinehem, and nobody was mavater. Nobody gave in. Everybody was trying to get theirs. Everybody was trying to, make sure that they weren't going to be taken advantage of. And they weren't cheating. They weren't stealing from each other. They weren't, taking, but nobody was willing to give in, right? And that's why Moshe Rabbeinu also was sort of complaining, right? Why am I in court all day dealing with all of your court cases, right? How come you people can't just give in to each other? How come, sometimes somebody can't just say, oh, you know what? Okay, it was an accident. I'm not going to take you to court. It's okay. Oh, how come you can't do that? So he said, what does this have to do with Adam Rishon? He said, it's unbelievable. What was Hashem saying to Adam Rishon? Ayeka, where are you? Where are you? So he said, where are you? A person who keeps the Torah, a person who doesn't steal, a person who gives back something when they damage it, or pays for it. That's not you. That's what you have to do, right? That's just being a good person. When you're mevater, when you give in, that shows you. That's where you are. Ayeka. When show me who Rahmana Liba boy, right? Hashem wants us to keep the Torah, not just because we're robots, and a robot doesn't think. It just says, oh, okay, you took something from me, so you have to pay me back, and I'm going to take you to Beis Din if you don't pay me back, and if you damage my property, I'm going to demand that money from you, and if you all of these things. But where am I? I'm the person who has the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to be mevater, I'm going to give in. I have to show myself where I am, and that's like the messer of the when a person is not showing themselves, when Hashem has to ask Ayeka, where are you? Because you're not showing yourself. So then Chalila, that's what leads to an Eicha. That's what leads us to, Hashem having to show us, what's what and who's. It's just very important to remember always, be mevater, try to give in, kol mavir al midosa, mavir lo kol pshav, like I've told you guys a million times. And okay, Mirz Hashem, we should see Nechama together, and hopefully not be watching the pianist together on Tisha B'av. And be in Yerushalayim Kodesh.
Amen.
Great Shabbos, everybody.
Beautiful. Amen.
Thank you,
So much
Rabbi. Have a great Shabbos.
Bye bye.
Bye. Till next time.